down if it does. So no matter how far away I get from the observatory, it's always going to stay somewhere around where we're keeping our base to. The way that the happy gas determines its home is that it'll be depending on where you last unattached a lead, dismounted it, equipped or removed its harness, no longer tempted it with a tempting item like a snowball or a harness, or if it stopped following a mob. So basically the last time you interacted with it, that's going to be the area that it remembers to stay active in. Myth busted. The myth we're testing is that pigs will only eat carrots. Well, while they're definitely associated with carrots, if I were to try any of these other items, like potatoes, they'll surely work, and beetroots as well also work for the pigs. So any of these 3 food items do just the trick. And in fact, I believe it's golden carrots that they don't care anything about. So, myth busted. While riding a camel, it'll make you immune to any kind of melee damage. If I go into survival and I have this husk down here, I am safe to this melee damage. But that's only true given where the husk relative is. So as soon as it steps up, it is able to hit me. It just needs a footstool before it's able to do anything. But as long as you're staying to the flat desert down here, you are pretty safe on the camel. Oh, but an enderman is tall enough to kill you on top of the camel. So partially confirmed, but not totally. This one says that a wolf in wolf armor can take any amount of damage and still survive. So let's see, if I take my mace and I go up and get a nice big leap, our wolf is still fine. The way that it's coded is that a wolf will take any amount of damage up until the point of breaking the armor, and it won't actually touch its health bar. So even using strength to the maximum level, our wolf is still alive. Whereas something like a warden punched the same, dies in 1 hit. So a wolf basically has 2 sets of life bars, which is odd. I thought it was cats that had multiple lives. Is that true with magic damage? No. So this one would be partially true. This one says that if we have a wolf and we have a happy ghast, our wolf will kill the happy ghast. So let me see. I got my happy ghast here. Will it go and just attack the happy ghast as is? My wolf will come towards me, but it will ignore the happy ghast up until the point that I punch it. But that's true for any passive mob. Can a wolf kill a happy ghast? It's true, but I wouldn't say it's true in any kind of interesting way. And untamed ones, they completely ignore it. We'll give it a partial confirm. This myth says that if we have an untamed wolf and a tamed wolf, we can't breed the 2 together. So I'll tame one of these up. There's our domesticated wolf. But if I take my pork chop and breed them up, sure enough, you can't breed an untamed wolf with a tamed wolf, even though both are now in love mode. There you go, myth confirmed. To get the chicken jockey music disc, you can't kill the chicken first. If I were to go and slay the chicken and then kill the zombie, no chicken jockey music disc. But the same setup where I kill the zombie first, sure enough, that's the only way to get the chicken jockey music disc, which makes sense, because otherwise when you kill off the chicken first, it's just a baby zombie, not a chicken jockey. Myth confirmed. Alright, so last time, we had a bunch of chickens attached to leads, and we tried to make a chicken parachute. We said in the last video that myth was busted, but someone said that if we give them slow falling first, then it would work. We'll take all of our chicken, look at all those chickens, get them on a couple of leads. There we go. And then if I give them slow falling, now will this save us from the fall? Let's find out. I mean, kind of, but it's misleading. Because what's actually happening here is that the slow falling saving me from the fall, and not the chickens themselves. And if I were to clear the same effect and try this again, and then if I fall like this, not only does that not save me, but it also keeps the chickens up there in the middle of the air. So all that does is break a couple of leads and my spine. Myth busted. Alright, so this is a fox that trusts me. And you can see that because it's not running away from me when I get close. So if I were to get attacked by a mob like a husk, will the fox go after it with the sword? I'd hope so. I bought it for it. Hey, sure enough. So even though foxes can't be tamed in the same sense that wolves can, it will go after the husk like so. And mobs that they would normally attack, like chickens, they'll go after just the same anyway. They'll even prioritize it over this mob that's about to hit me. Thanks. So, myth confirmed. This one states that pandas are completely passive mobs. Well, let's see. I've got my panda here. It seems pretty passive. Let's give it a punch. Whoa! Not only is it not passive, it's a neutral mob that can do 4.5 hearts of health, but it only does one punch to retaliate against me. It all has to do with the specific panda variant that we find, and it would be this panda here, the angry panda, that actually would have a chance of going against us. So is this one just straight up hostile? Doesn't look like it, but if I attack it first, ow! Does it keep attacking you after you hit it, though? Sure enough, so the aggressive one will keep attacking you once it's provoked, whereas other variants of the panda might give up after a certain amount of time. But even fully aggressive, it's still a neutral mob. So, myth busted. This one states that bees are doomed to die after they sting you. Well, that would be based on real life, so let's see. So, if I get stung by this bee, not only does it sting me, but it also loses its stinger in the process. If you look at this bee, it now has no stinger on its butt anymore. Now, I know I'm not doing so great. How does the bee fare? Well, so far so fine. Ah, there it goes. Myth confirmed. This one states that dolphins, even though they are aquatic mobs, require a mix of both air and water to survive. If I were to give this a ceiling and then we kick sprint, even though it's fully given all the water that it can need, eventually the dolphin will die from not having enough air. Sure enough. But we do that same test and we remove the lid, the dolphin will be fine. Myth confirmed. This one says that sheep can only graze on grass blocks. So if we shear off the wool off the sheep, it'll only get it back if it was next to grass. But as we can see there, that's just not the case. Considering it is able to eat actual grass items that generates on top of blocks like the short grass that we have here. So it ate the short, dry grass to regain its wool. Basically, that was the minimum movement in the process. So it's not a permanent solution the same way that our crops might be renewable, but it does work. Myth busted. This one states that iron golems give a baby villager a poppy on rare occasions. Now this hasn't actually been in the game, and the truth is that it still is, but you're not going to see it on Java anymore. So as we can see here, the golem does still offer out the poppy. It's just that due to a bug, it won't actually have the baby villager accept it anymore. So, myth busted. This one says that allays do not dance to the broken music disc that they do to other ones. Let's find out. Oh, sure enough, not only are they dancing to it, but they seem to love it. They love it a lot more than I do, I'll tell you that much. Myth busted. In Bedrock Edition, the allays can blink, but this one says the Java Edition doesn't. Pretty awkward staring contest, and it'll be extremely awkward because they do not blink in Java. They also said the allays can blink in Bedrock, but after hours of studying it, it's just not so. So there are resource packs over there that allow this to happen, but otherwise it's just the players that's blinking. So I guess that means myth double busted. This one states that a snow golem inside of a desert biome given fire resistance will actually survive. Well, that one didn't last very long. Let's try the fire resistance. Hey, sure enough. So as long as it has fire resistance, it'll actually survive inside of the desert biome. And actually, myth's so confirmed that if we were to go over to the nether to also breed snow golems will survive there, myth confirmed. Our villager breeders engage in farmer villagers. So this myth says that farmer villagers are required for villager breeding. Well, let's find out. We're about to have 2 librarians. Can they link up over shared interest? And sure enough, we're seeing villager love hearts come up because you're able to breed between any kind of villager profession. So farmer villagers are required. However, they are required for automatic breeders, since they would be able to go harvest all of the crops themselves and then give that to other villagers, giving you an automatic breeder. But as long as you offer the food yourself, it's just fine without. Myth busted. So this myth says that if we have an iron golem that's broken up, but we usually could repair it with iron ingots, this one says that we can repair it even faster using iron blocks. clicking on this, I cannot interact with it using iron blocks. And in fact, the quickest way to repair your iron golem with iron blocks would be that you just build a new iron golem. But as far as what this is saying, myth busted. This myth states that swamp villagers have a guaranteed mending book enchantment. So we've got our swamp villager. It's now a swamp librarian. If I go and trade with it, curse of binding. Not only is there no mending for it, but there's really no difference between the different biome types of villagers. And the reason that this myth might exist is that there's currently experimental snapshots that are out that would make these changes, but they're not in the base game. So if you're going and taking all the effort to breed your villagers inside of the swamp to even get this rare variant, it's not going to make a difference for you. Myth busted. If we have a villager and a bed, it can sleep in any dimension. So as soon as I set it over to night, there's no night sky over here in the nether. However, the villagers are able to sleep just fine. The bed doesn't even explode. And if that's true for the nether, let's see it in the end. We got this villager's house on location, set it to night, and sure enough, it's able to sleep here, even if we can't. Myth confirmed. This myth states that you're able to milk squids. All right, let's give it a shot. If I take my bucket and try to milk the squid, it doesn't work. However, it did used to work. Because this was added during beta 1.2, you were able to milk the squids for a regular milk bucket. But it was then removed back in beta 1.301. So, if the myth is that you used to be able to milk squids, then that is confirmed, regardless of how much I wish it wasn't. TNT no longer activates when you punch it. Now, this used to be how TNT was originally before we had a way to light it off, and it made it really destructive to be placed down a hit of TNT if you couldn't get it back. This is still the case. If I can recreate it, that's what's gonna happen. But if I punch this in survival, it does explode. And really, this has nothing to do with mods and everything to do with the NBT data, since it still exists that you're able to use the give command to give yourself TNT unstable. So while it's true in survival, it is actually false overall for vanilla. This myth says that falling anvils do more damage than dripstone. Well, let's give that a test here. We've got our pointed dripstone, we got our anvils, and let's see. Observer, if you wouldn't mind being my test subject, or if you want to drop it on my head, how much damage did that do? Okay, 4.5, maybe 5 hearts. Now, let's see with pointed dripstone. Alright, so we're gonna have to place the solid block one higher so that we're dropping it at the same elevation. Alright, our dripstone bullet. Well, I think we can safely say that does more damage. So after just 4 blocks fallen, dripstones will deal 18 damage, while the anvil will only do 6. Alright, we got another fallen anvil one. This one says that fallen anvils remove lava in the column that they fall through. So if I place our anvil right here, we've got a solid pool of lava. Will it fall through and remove the lava? No, because it counts as an entity as it's falling and doesn't remove any of these because it doesn't actually partake in the flush. It's only going to remove my bottom nodes. So the way that I would get rid of all this lava is with a whole bunch of iron and a whole bunch of noise. This myth says that conduits prevent underwater mob spawning in a radius 1. We will see, do any mobs spawn next to this conduit? Well, we'll have to fly a bit away to be able to make sure that they have enough distance away from us to spawn. So we're seeing a bunch of drown pop up in the outskirts. However, there's never going to be any directly next to the conduit, but it has nothing to do with the conduit's range and more with the fact that the conduit's a light source. And so even if I'm going to go have conduit power all the way over here, it doesn't actually change anything with the mob spawning. This myth says the best tool to mine bamboo is an axe. Let's test that. So while an axe is definitely going to be faster than my fist to take down bamboo, the truth is that a sword is the one that's the only instant break the bamboo. At least until you start to add enchantments onto the axe. But every time that I'm taking down one of those, it's doing double the amount of durability to my sword. So I'm at 236 right now. I break this, it goes down to 234 because I have the proper use of the tool. So is it the best tool for bamboo? That really comes down to you. This myth says that cobblestone is mined at the same speed as stone. Alright, so I've got my haste 2, I've got my efficiency 5 pickaxe. Instant mine with stone, but it's not quite instant to go through the cobblestone. As you can see here, it's going much slower than this. And on single blocks, it might be hard to notice, but when you're going through a lot of it, it really shows how much faster we go through clean stone. So the myth that we're testing is, does amethyst give off light? Well, let's find out. So, sure enough, they do give off small amounts of light level given into the block. But the confusion here might be that they aren't emissive the same way that we think of like glow ink sacks or glow squirts. The large one even gives up to a light level of 5. Not bad for something you can grow. This myth says that cobwebs are flammable. Well, let's enable fire tick and give it a shot. If I take my flint and steel here, I can't directly ignite the cobwebs. That isn't a good sign. But let's see if after enough time, will it spread. So sure enough, we can see it breaking every single flammable block next to it, except for the cobwebs. And the reason this myth might exist is because when you see fire start to spread through an abandoned mine shaft, it'll burn all the other blocks around it, but the cobwebs remain intact, even if the mine shaft doesn't. So this myth says the creaking hearts have a chance of generating let's find out. Start to grow up a tree. Is there going to be any creaking hearts inside? Well, the truth is, no matter how many saplings I'm placing down, we're never going to get an actual post-generation creaking heart. They don't work the same way that beehives do when you plant a flower next to your sapling. Instead, if you're wanting more creaking hearts to prank your friends, you're just going to need 2 pale logs and a block of resin. No amount of bone meal is going to solve this for you. Are resin blocks effective scaffolding? So of course, we've got a few other blocks that work as common scaffolding, those being dirt blocks, which are slow to break unless you have the right shovel. Literal scaffolding always breaks instantly with a fist. Even TNT can work well as scaffolding because you can instant break it just as easily as you place it. But is a block of resin the same? And sure enough, you can break it fast enough where you even fall through and break your legs at the bottom. So be careful if you're using it. This myth says that red sand can be cooked into red glass. Let's take our coal and give it a test. Any second now, just regular glass is all you're gonna get. And nor does cooking red concrete powder give you any kind of red glass. The only way that you're gonna get this is by dyeing it after the fact in a crafting recipe. This myth says that silk touch mine tinted glass. Well, we got our tinted glass here. Let's give it a check. Sure enough, it does break when you give me back the tinted glass. The truth is that it would happen even if I was using a regular pickaxe. In fact, even my fist is enough to break the tinted glass and get it back. I guess all that amethyst you're using to reinforce it keeps it safe, not turning into shards. And thankfully so if I'm breaking it with my fist. This myth says that you're able to create a strange end portal if you align the directions of them out of order. So we have all of our end portals looking like they're placed in the right order for the frames, but as soon as I light it up, will it create this strange end portal outside of the portal? And sure enough, it is fully possible inside of vanilla to get this way. And Observer's favorite strange one is that if you build it vertically, like you would a nether portal, it's not going to light in the middle here, but it does light up top, giving us a very strange but functional end portal. So obviously we can't use our blocks inside of the nether, but we'll use eye blossoms because these open at night. We've got different kinds of eye blossoms planted down here, but the truth is that no matter how much time is passing over here in the nether, we're not going to be privy to it because the eye blossoms will always keep the state that you place them in when you plant them down. Whereas in the old world, if I planted down an open eye blossom, it would close in the daylight and then open at night. Running the soul sand or soul soil will drain your roots using soul speed. Well, let me give it a shot. My roots are clean and pristine. I put these on and I start sprinting with soul speed over here. As long as I keep watering those roots, eventually, sure enough, the durability's gone down 3 points. So soul speed, while great as it is to get you around, it is also going to take a little bit out of your durability. This myth says that soul sand can glitch you into lava. Well, let's give it a shot. So if I'm in survival here, and start walking around, if I'm crouching on the end, soul sand in its hitbox aligns you low enough where you're technically just sinking into the lava even if you're shifting on the edge. Whereas if I do it on the netherrack, I'm completely fine. And if you want an easy way to visualize this, let's get down our armor stand and show it off. That armor stand is sinking that much lower than the one on the netherrack. So it's not a glitch, it's intentional game design. This myth says that you don't have to go to the nether fortress to get nether wart. Well, as you can see here, it's demonstrably true. Because in certain bastion remnants, you're able to find nether wart and soul sand down at the bottom here. Well, the truth is that if you actually wanted to go and use this to brew up potions, well, you could find a brewing stand naturally generated inside of a cleric house in a village. You do need blaze powder to actually make the potions. And the whole reason that it was changed to need blaze powder was because of these workarounds. Can you use hardened concrete powder in the nether? Well, for reference, if I'm on fire in the nether and I use a splash water bottle, to keep me safe, it's extinguishing the fire. So does that same water that was brought in the jar work on these concrete powders? Unfortunately, no. So you'll need to pre-water your concrete before you bring it in, if possible. This myth says that if you wear movement mask, it will work like gold armor to make the game safe. Well, let's find out. Because apparently, it doesn't take very kindly to be wearing one of its skins. While it is true that pigeons will still attack you if you're not wearing gold armor, it doesn't have the same stealth effect that we see in Java Edition, where it lowers the detection range of different mobs. And you can be stealthy on things because of invisibility as well as sneaking. And if I get close, if I were to take off the personal mail, then you'll see that was the only thing keeping me safe for that distance. But it doesn't keep you completely safe. It does reduce the range. So regular spawners can change what mob spawns inside using spawning. Is the same true for trial spawners? Well, let's find out. We got trial spawner here with no mobs inside. Well, sure enough, the wardens work. So as long as the mobs have the right block for them to spawn, whether that's water for aquatic mobs or grass for our passive mobs, we could spawn in a whole bunch of mobs this way. This myth says that vines will only spawn in the jungles or swamp biomes. But if we teleport on the location, in recent versions of the game, that just isn't so. Because when we get these tipped over logs that generate naturally in our forest, they can occasionally have vines on them. This myth says that lily pad direction is completely randomized. The truth is that no matter how I place this lily pad in this exact block, it'll always face in the exact direction. While it is randomized with the world seed, the truth is that you can actually use this as a preset code. And that goes back to an old video that Simply Sark used, where you could use these to define the hidden code to get into your secret base. Do the new cactus flowers break our cactus farms? Well, let's give it a shot. If we take our random tick speed and set it up to 3000, you'll see that even though these ones that we have cactus flowers on top of will stop it from spawning, if there aren't any cactus flowers currently on these cacti, they'll continue to grow and work just the same. So your current cactus farm is not going to be broken by this update. This myth says that dry grass can be bone mealed like regular grass. So if I were to take down some bone meal and just use it like I would on grass blocks, do we get any kind of dry grass? No, it's only directly bone meal in the grass that allows us to get more. In this way, it's a lot more similar to the regular bushes that we're seeing that grow elsewhere. This myth says that it's possible for a cactus to grow taller than 3 blocks. Well, we can definitely see this one's 4 blocks tall. In fact, if you go and explore the world, you might see a couple of those happen, but it has nothing to do with how tall the cactus is growing, and it has everything to do with world generation. Since what can happen is that, strangely enough, it'll place multiple cacti in the same block, giving you a taller cactus. There have been specific seeds that have been found by people like Geosquare that can go even taller, over 20 blocks tall for one singular cactus and a seed. But if you were to go place down a cactus yourself, it's never going to grow taller than 3 blocks. This myth says that ferns can drop seeds just like grass. Well, let's take my fork and hoe and give that a shot. If I go against our regular grass, we're going to get plenty of seeds there. Now let's break the ferns. And sure enough, right from the first one there, we're able to get seeds from ferns. This myth says that a furnace can produce enough light to melt the ice. Well, let's check that out. If I start to light off our furnace with our raw iron here, we can definitely tell it's giving off some amount of light here, but is it the same as our redstone torches, or is it going to actually melt the ice? Ah, there we go. As you can very clearly see, because ice melts at a light level of 11, and our furnaces can give off a light level of 13, it'll eventually melt the ice if you cook something inside. Alright, we've got another ice myth. This one says that you can slide 9 times faster on blue ice than packed ice. Well, it does take 9 times the amount of packed ice to turn into blue ice. Let's give it a shot. Alright, observer, I'll take the regular ice. You can take the blue ice. Place down our boats into place. Well, observer definitely goes faster than me on blue ice. There is a reason to use it, but 9 times faster? That's not the case. While the slipping attribute for blue ice is about 10 times more than it is for packed ice, the resulting boat speeds that we get are 40 blocks per second over on packed ice, and our blue ice goes up to 72.73 blocks per second, giving a boat speed that's roughly 1.8 times faster. This myth says that dispensers can be triggered by wind charges. I take my wind charge and I throw it towards the dispenser. The only wind charge coming out is the one that I dropped off. And in fact, the reason that this might look like it's the case is because when you're in a trial chamber and you throw it towards any kind of button or lever down there, that will cause the dispenser to go up. And now we can see it shooting out. But without that button, the dispenser itself doesn't get activated. So on Java, we're not able to move container blocks. A composter being a container, should we be able to move it? Well, let's find out. Sure enough, even though the composter is holding different values inside of it with how much compost is inside, it is able to be pushed on both versions. And it's the same reason why we could push a cauldron like this, because it has a fill level, but it doesn't technically work as a container block. This myth says that chiseled bookshelves can power an enchanting table if fully filled up with books. Well, we've got all of our chiseled bookshelves with a whole bunch of books inside, but can we enchant anything worthwhile out of this? The answer is no. Our max level is the same as if the enchanted table didn't have any bookshelves next to it. And another way to know that this isn't working is because you can't see the particles going between it like we could if we used regular bookshelves, as you can see here. This myth says that if you power a drip leaf with redstone, it'll never fall. Well, let's give that a test. If I go on this unpowered one, obviously, it falls down, but this one with the lever, just like that, it's completely safe for me to go on, giving you a way of setting up a unique kind of parkour. And in fact, even if it's fallen down, like so, as soon as I go and power it up, it immediately flips up. And that would be the reason why you find the drip leaf inside the redstone blocks category of the creative menu. This myth says that hay bales will keep you completely safe from any kind of fall damage. Well, they definitely reduce it, but as you can see there, I do still take some amount of fall damage, but a lot less than if I fall off to the side. And the reason for this is that hay bales reduce the amount of fall damage by 80% consistently, meaning that you need to fall over 100 blocks to die from full health on a bunch of these hay bales. But it doesn't keep you completely safe, so myth busted. Candles can be lit with a flame enchanted bow. Well, let's give it a shot, and then if I go and pick up my flame arrow, the candles are fully lit. And in fact, the same would be true for our campfires. This myth says that you can bridge across gaps using only signs. Well, we definitely can't stand safely on these signs. We can't even go and crouch to the edge of them. But by using hanging signs and placed horizontally like so, the top part of it does actually have a collision, giving us a safe way to walk across. It's just a little eerie to watch yourself do it. So, it's still pretty safe. This myth says that barrier blocks can be waterlogged. Well, as we can see from this very oddly built water house, that's completely true. And as of 1.20.2, we're now able to place down a barrier block and then fill it up with some kind of water. You just can't fill it up with the tadpole. But this is a way to give you solid non-flowing water blocks in the air, or as a way to do a walk on water prank if you wanted to. This myth says that water can hydrate farmland that it doesn't even touch. Well, let's give it a shot. Remove some of these dead bushes, then till our soil. Will this farmland go into actual hydrated farmland? Sure enough, even though the water isn't even touching it, it's just waterlogged inside of a block like so, it actually can work across farmland in a wide range. This myth says that lava can be used to break your fall the same way that we used water to do it. Well, let's find out. Ow! While lava does slow down your fall momentum, it doesn't actually make you completely safe. Also, the momentum, well, let's let lava work in it, then it doesn't even touch. Well, let's give it a shot. Says that, or as a way to do a walk on non-flowing water blocks in the air, or as a way to give you some kind of water. Place down a barrier block and then fill it up with some kind of water. You just can't fill it up with the tadpole. But this is a way to give you solid non-flowing water blocks in the air, or as a way to because I'm safe either. But if I were to give myself fire resistance, even then if I fall into the lava, I just fall through slower, giving me less fall damage for sure, but still fall damage. Can magma blocks warm up our striders even if they're outside of the lava? Well, let's find out. We got our strider here, and even though it's on the magma block, it's still cold. However, it's not actually taking any damage from the magma blocks. So while there is a special behavior just for our striders, it doesn't seem to like it very much anyway. This myth says that jungle leaves are less likely to drop their saplings than regular kinds of leaves. Well, let's find out. We've got